and try another mirror here. So I'll go apply. Yeah, it's a lot better. It's slowly getting there. I'm gonna do the rest of this by hand. For the crease, I'm not so worried, even though I really should be coming in here and smoothing. I'm not too worried about it. I really should go in there and just give it like one nice smoothing. Here we go, apply again. Okay. So yeah, this thing is slowly moving towards being right. I'm going to grab this edge. I'll click there and double click, shift double click here, and then do a smooth flooding just to relax it a bit. Yeah. Okay, just eases it a bit so it's not so snug on the center line. And I'll do the same thing for the edge loop right next to it. Click here, double click, shift double click, and do another smooth flooding. Now keep in mind that I am working on the left side here. All right, so even though I've turned the character around, I'm on the left side making changes. One thing I didn't take into consideration is that even though I have her crouched like this and I've made a symmetrical pose, the topology is not symmetrical. So with what I'm asking it to do here, look for your exact replica on the other side. It's not going to be able to find it and port the skinning information properly because they are not the same. So you do have to go into build pose, unfortunately. So this little thing I did over here with this symmetrical pose, it doesn't help because the topology is not symmetrical. So I'm going to go to build pose and run the mirror function, and now it should be fine. Try it again. And yeah, now you have a perfect mirroring of the clean weighting. So yeah, this is probably a good starting result. This stuff looks a little weird here. There is something I'm going to do over here with the adductor muscle. When you're crouched and you rotate your knees outward like this, there is a flexing of a muscle in here. So corrective morphs are going to be used to recreate that, but I do want to make sure I'm starting from a good place, and it looks like this could use this maybe a little bit more smoothing, but I think I might have maxed out on what I can do here. All right, especially if my only options are to delegate it to either the root or the upper thigh. I might have maxed out on what can be done. So even something like this, I might have to go in there and sculpt that in the corrective deformation, in the crouch corrective deformation. As the character crouches, there'll be a lot of fixes going on, and so I might need to include this little lump in there, because if I was to come over here and I was to try to designate this two, I'd be fighting for these two, would be fighting for it, not this, these two. So if I say, for instance, gave it to, let me put this at a high number, 0.13, and I say give it to the hip, it's not particularly going to fix anything. Or if I say give it to the root, it's not going to do any fixing either. Right? It's best that I have nicely distributed, the points over there are nicely distributed between the two of them, and that's going to be enough. Just smooth this a little bit to get better topology there. And yeah, I think this is going to be the best I can do with weight painting. There is something going on here that I need to be careful about though. I think I'm seeing it. Yeah, there's a sharp point here because of how the distribution is working. So I think with this central line, what I'm going to do, especially for that bottom half, which seems to be causing a problem, I'm going to make sure, yeah, like from around here, it's being problematic. So if I select this edge, maybe this one, and I go all the way up to where the other spot where I think that it's being problematic, it's really not in the crease. It's probably around, maybe I'll stop right there. I'll shift and double click here. Okay, I'm going to take all these points and I'm going to make the right and the left share, right? So if I go into the weight painting tool and I say, I'm going to take right now, the root has, if I look at the numbers, show numbers, the root has a full weighting of 0.1 there, right? I'm going to allow either side, the left and right hip, to have 0.2 so that they share influence of this point. So I will go to 0.2, I'll set this to 0.2, and I'll go to replace, and I'll start with the left hip, and I'll say you take 0.2, and then I'll go to the right hip and I'll say you also take 0.2. 0.2 might have been too much, and I also might have selected too far up the chain. So I'm going to start from, yeah, it doesn't, the problem is not that far in. So I have to come over here, select this edge, and it stops around, let me see if I can, yeah, maybe around like, there. Yeah, about, okay, yeah, about there. And 0.2 is too much, so let me go in there and look for a suitable weighting. So maybe 0.02, so I'll go 0.02 and go flood, and then she also has this, the other side also has 0.02 flood, and that kind of does a better averaging. Maybe I could go a little bit more. Let me go 0.05. So I'll go 0.05 flood, and the other side takes flood. Okay, so yeah, that's good. At least I don't have that pointy result anymore. All right, that's sharp result because you're sharing it better. And I think, yeah, that's it. That's as far as I'm going to go. Here I could use some smoothing, and I'm being very careful past this point because I don't want to end up back in the position I was in where they're fighting to behave. Yeah. So just one pass of manual smoothing should now clean it up. Okay, and that should be it. I don't think. For this, I'll just do, again, some manual adding until it's close to the center line. right, so this is some more granular skinning, but yeah, this is excessive past this point. Most of the things in the crease there, it's really not important at this stage. I don't think you're ever going to be in there. You're never going to see anything. It's a portion of the character that's obscured anyway by two mounds of flesh, so you'll never really see in there. So I'm just at this point just polishing. But yeah, this would be about enough, right? I think this is a good stopping point, and I am going to 100% fix that with corrective morphs. That'll probably be one of the first things I deal with when I get down here. It should have its own corrective morph, because I wouldn't only be fixing it when I'm going down, but also when I'm making poses like this. Yeah, so I'll focus on that. This would actually be the first thing I'd be trying to resolve. And over here, it doesn't look like it has too many issues. This is the problem. If I do that, I'm going to find the best way what should be the driving system to fix this. It'll probably be the rotation of this. If this rotates outward, then I'll do a fixing of this, and I'll keep adjusting it till I have a good result. But yeah, I think this is as far as I'm going to go with the weight painting. The weight painting of this pelvic region concludes the weight painting. It wasn't as hard as I thought. There was a lot of going in there to get some granular stuff, but I think this is a good basic skinning, and yeah, everything else is the responsibility of corrective deformation.